The Love of God, Activating Perception, Part 11. Conversation with Lucifer, ELENA SIDELNIKOVA. One day, we will all remember that we are gods. All knowledge resides within each of us. We need only believe and listen to it within ourselves. Listen to the God inside you. I want to understand. There are two theories. The first, that man is the crown of creation, into whom the Creator poured everything that exists within himself, making him unique. All other parts of nature are ready to serve him, and all other civilizations seek to unravel this mystery of creation and replicate it within themselves. And God loves man as his unique child. The second, that man is merely one of God's creations, that to God there is no difference between a bug and a human. God loves all equally. Or perhaps God has no preferences at everything, is unified, simply steps in the endless process of knowing, creating, and understanding himself. Which one is true? Again, we return to the concepts of true and untrue, which do not exist. Think of a reflection. A mirror simply reflects what is before it. Think of God as a mirror. Can a mirror desire what or how it reflects? It cannot not reflect. That is its nature, its way of interacting with what is outside of it, what stands before it. You approach the mirror and smile. A minute later, you approach it angry. Which is the real you, happy or angry? The mirror merely reflected one of your states. The only thing that can be attributed to the mirror is how clearly it reflected you, whether its reflective quality distorted the image. But the mirror has no right to choose whether to reflect or to reflect only those it likes. Are you saying that if I believe I am the crown of God's creation, then I will be? And if I consider myself equal to others, then that will be my reality. The mirror simply reflects what you are in the present moment. I don't understand. First, you said God is light that we reflect. Now you say God is the mirror. We spoke of perception. Light passes through various prisms of reflection, refracting into countless glimmers. Can one reflection be better than another? It can. If the prism is special, enhanced. Enhanced compared to what? Compared to the previous reflection. But what does enhanced mean? Just different. Better or worse relative to what? So if God is light and has no preference in how he is reflected, does that mean all his reflection soul creations are equally loved or equally indifferent to him? They cannot be indifferent, for they are his varied reflections. You are endowed with feelings, so you assign emotional shades and judgments to everything. You perceive indifference as coldness, neglect. But what is indifference? The absence of distinction. How do you feel about yourself? Do you love yourself with fiery passion? What about the parts of you that are you yet, are indistinguishable, say, your hands? Do you feel indifference toward them? They are inseparable from you. They cannot exist apart from you. But we are always told that God loves us like a father. Yet if he has no preferences, and we are merely instruments for his experience, like my hands are to Methan, does he truly love us? I don't feel love for my hands. They're just there. What does love mean to light? What can you do with light? Light is singular in nature, yet in diamonds it sparkles brilliantly, while in dull glass it barely reflects. Light simply reflects, Joe. It reflects depends entirely on the prism. If God can experience love as you understand it, he does so only through you. If you love the parts of God around you, then he loves them. If you do not, then he does not. How could it be otherwise? Imagine light as an endless stream that upon reflection receives information, the characteristics of that reflection. These are recorded in an informational system, a catalogue of reflections. The light itself remains unchanged, yet each time it acquires new qualities. This is why everything around you is your reflection, because God receives information about your surroundings only through you, and the information about what is within you, He also receives through you. So whether God loves me depends only on me? Does God receive the information about whether He loves me from me? Yes, for all is but a reflection of divine light. When God's light passes through your prism, it reflects back as love for you, the absence of it. So, in this sense, can we say God does not love everyone only those who believe He loves them, thus reflecting His light as His love for them? Yes, God, like the entire world, behaves as you expect Him to, because all He does in relation to you is, in truth, your preference for His attitude toward you. And this is a real energetic process. Then why did Jesus say on the cross, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" Because in that moment He chose to perceive it that way. For an instant, He weakened His connection to divine light, yet He restored it, even on the cross. So if a person is certain God does not love them, then it is so. God is light. He does not experience feelings as you do, has no sensory organs. In a way, you are His sensory organs. Electricity simply flows into a network, but whether it powers a beautiful chandelier or a deadly machine is not its choice. All the qualities you assign to God as a person are, in truth, your qualities. God does not love you because you are humble and love Him. God loves you because you are certain of His love. You define His relationship with you. You shape it with your thoughts and energetic reflection. If you know God loves you, it is because you have created a reflection of His light in which you are beloved. Not because of virtuous deeds God has no preferences, but because you consider yourself loved by God and thus reflect yourself in Him as loved. Then those who believe they are the crown of creation are, and those who see themselves as equal to every insect are that. You remain bound by moral concepts formed over millennia of collective survival in physical communities. These are not wrong, but they limit your ability to see more. Is there a crown of creation? What is it? Every new creation is unique, distinct. None is final. But there's a theory that God united in us all the rays of creation, the energies of all worlds, making us unique. To unite, there must first be division. Light simply is. Division happens at the level of reflecting objects. All of you and countless other reflections are simply variations of divine light. In this sense, all are unique. All are the crown of creation. So humans are no different from other creations. All creations differ. Stop opposing one to another. All are, and all different, cannot be otherwise. All are prisms, glimmers of divine light. Fine. Then what are the rays of creation? And what was the divine impulse said to have reached us on 12/21 meant to elevate us to a higher dimension? These are the games of gods, the play of creators with the light of the one God. Games of gods? There are many? Countless. Those who designed the foundational programs for reflecting divine light in your world. The great programmers of your realities. Don't I shape my own reality? Not alone. And you rarely question how it happened show the programs of creation operate. So there is no transition? Just a game? Both exist. There is a game you may choose to play, thus ascending to a new level. Countless creation programs exist. You simply select one, progressing through incarnational experiences. But someone creates these programs. You are eternal students in the school of creation. First, you learn to create using existing programs. Then, many of you begin crafting new once unique realities and thus become gods of your own worlds, setting rules for divine light to flow. So the great transition is just someone's game. It is the creation of a new world. And the level we rise to, it exists only within that game. There are no levels. How can you categorize the infinite refractions of God? All levels are new realities, birthed every second by those who participate in their creation. Then there is no transition, just play? Both exist. There is a game called transition, which you may choose to enter, thus experiencing realities termed higher levels. Just as learning tailoring elevates you in that craft, so too does mastering conscious creation of a 4D reality. Others craft different realms in personal space, the great void. Light illuminates new spaces within itself. By creating realities, you open them for perception. Every mystic's vision shamans, Toltecs, Buddhists, yogis, priestesses, simply the creation and exploration of new realities. You always had a choice. Join an existing reality and expand it with your thoughts, or forge a new one. In this sense, the realities of so-called madmen are no better or worse than Buddhist Nirvanajas' different refractions. So a deranged killer is like Buddha? Both are reflections of divine light, yet entirely distinct. Why weren't these teachings revealed earlier? Why now? They were always given, because they have always been within you. You are strong in your faith literally. Earlier, you believed such knowledge was inaccessible. There were times when you knew everything instantly, telepathically, but then came priests and adepts who preached their own uniqueness and your insignificance. Gradually you silenced God's voice within the channel through which you could know the universe. Yet you remain interconnected. Even now you can perceive the world through any being in existence. How? Simply become them. Fully believe you are them and thus perceive through them. Imagine an informational field recording all experience in, including yours. By tuning your receiver to specific frequencies, like radio waves, you can access any perception. This is how you experience another's reality. If another accesses your mind, they see through your eyes. Then, are countless entities perceiving my world through me right now? Yes, why fear it? You too can connect to any being's perception. You already you commune with nature, with plants, brief, unfixed glimpses. Your world seems stable and shared because you momentarily sync with others' perceptions. This is the foundation of the matrix. But you can connect to anything. The sun's perception, the moon's. When you rejoice in daylight or mourn under moonlight, this is what occurs. The Sunday rejoices, the moon mourns. Joy and sorrow are human labels. All are qualities of light bright or dim. You can perceive any world, To do so, cleanse your prism of societal conditioning, step beyond imposed templates, grant yourself the right to be any other. In old ruse, holy fools were revered those who refused collective perception. Are you saying I must become a holy fool? You choose who to be. I speak of transcending rigid perception. The world is only what you conceive it to be, what you create in your perception. You said, those who access my mind can perceive through me. Can they influence me? Many speak of entities feeding on our emotions and controlling us. Is that what you mean? Everything in your world exists by your perceptioner, what you allow into it. Let no one impose their perception on you, not even me. If you create God's love in your world, you shape all relationships within it. Can someone looking through binoculars alter them? Only if you allow it. If you know how they should function, you readjust them. Likewise, if you do not consciously govern your perception, others will not to dominate, but to gather more experiences. They tune your binoculars to their comfort. When you act unconsciously, many may step in. You are an open door, but you can restrict access, setting rules for your perception, just as you might wish to peer through another's binoculars and glimpse their reality. So, journeying to other realities means perceiving through another's apparatus, not physically travelling. In your world, nothing is impossible. If you choose to travel in body, you will. But connecting to another's perception is innate, you already do it. The illusion of separation runs deep. In truth, all beings are you, other versions. To perceive through another is to perceive as yourself in another form. There is no one around you but you, and you are God.